we're going to be doing here is adding wireless probing and tool setting to a 1998 Haas VF0E. This machine does not have macros, has no probe provisions at all. So we have a bunch of probing routines that I found here online. This is pretty much everything you would need. It's not going to be as smooth as using macros, but we're not going to pay probably $3,000 to unlock macros on a 1998 machine. So this is the GP800 wireless probe. I got this on AliExpress. This is the WP600 tool setter. Goes in 5 different directions, I think they said. Just took it out the box. This is wired. For the probe, I have an old, pretty mangled Cat 40 holder here. I'm going to do some modifications too, so it can be dedicated to that. And yeah, I'll give you the rundown on setting this up on an old Haas using the skip signal, and we'll run through some bit of probing, some tool offsets, and see how it works out. What I wound up doing here was just making a little sleeve that pressed on this. You could, if you had an old holder, turn it down to match this profile. That would make it a little better, but I guess it really doesn't matter. I took that old ground up mangled holder, faced it off. Now that should be a nice slip into there. Snug that on. And that'll be one nice little probe. One thing I did forget about with this is we need some sort of signal isolation. The tool setter and the probe use 24 volts. The skip signal on the machine is a 12 volt signal pulled to ground. So what we're going to use for that are some optocouplers. Whatever you use should be solid state. A relay is not going to be fast enough or reliable enough. So these have a little photocell, and they're pretty insulated. This is just one I grabbed off Amazon. Printed this little board that snaps on there. Our controller for the tool setter will just go here with some two-sided tape, and I'll just stick this down to the bottom of the cabinet. So here's everything all mounted. I'm running a 24 volt external power supply until I pick up a one to hardwire in. We have our 24 volts coming into the tool setter box. The signal coming out from the tool setter box to this side of our optocoupler. Just have the ground shared between these two. So this one is coming from the probe. This one's from the tool setter. I don't want to risk any voltage being backfed through either or. Go around to the other side. This is our skip signal. So 12 volt on the top, ground on the bottom. And just kind of looped around for both of these. Skip signal is just tapped in there to the top 2 pins. That'll focus sometimes, eh? What we have to switch between these, this brown wire, these are our optional M codes. So when you run one of your optional M codes, it uses these relays to power these. The first 2 have a normally open and a normally closed. The last one has a normally open only, and this one also has normally open, but this one I think is an extra option. It's listed as M24 on here, but it doesn't work, and it does not give me the ability to turn it on. So anyway, I have 24 volts coming in to the common of each of these 2 relays. So we're using M22 and 23. 24 volts coming in. When you activate the relay, it sends 24 volts out to trigger the probe to come on, or when you activate M23, it's 24 volts out to power up our tool setter. So they're not active while they're just sitting still. So with all that wired up, I'll give you a little example of how it works. M52 controls our optional M code relay M22. So M52 on. See, we go there. Boom, probe wakes up, probe's on. Hear the beep. So when we go over to our screen, go diagnosis, down. What we're looking for is G31 block skip. See, it shows as a 1. Bump the probe, 0, 0. That's our probe signal. Now, we'll go back to our MDI. M62 powers that off. Goes. Then we give it a few seconds. Probe blinks and probe goes back to sleep. Perfect. Delete. M53 controls optional relay M23. Turn that on. Now we have tool setter. And again, go back to our diagnosis screen. Look at that block skip. That's our skip signal for setting tool heights. MDI. M63. Now it's powered down. I'll show you some quick little programs that are written up. I don't take any responsibility for the programs that get written up. I found these on CNC Zone on a very old post from 12 years ago or so, I believe it was. I'll link those in the bottom of the video. You can modify them as needed. So I'll give you a little example. I have programs made up for all sorts of different things. Again, I didn't come up with these. I just took them and modified them for my needs and my machine. So center a bore, G54. All you do, drop the probe close to where you want it. Cycle start. Probe powers up, connects. You have a 12-second delay to ensure that it connects. Beep. Comes back, soft touch. Comes over. Divides it by 2, finds the middle. Same thing in the Y. Comes back. G54 now set X0, Y0. Same for the Z. So we'll go list programs, probe Z, G54. Z, up. Just put it close to where we want it. Memory, we're in our right program. On, probe connects. 12-second delay. You could probably cut it down to about 8 seconds. And then comes back for a soft touch. Raises up 3 inches off just for clearance. Now we're 3 inches above our Z. So this is a quick little example of our tool 2 height offset. I keep the probe as tool 1. Tool 1 is zeroed with our G54 or G55, whatever, Z0. So that way I can just touch the probe and I've got to go with a bunch of different tool offsets. So it's just firing up our tool setter. It's a little delay to make sure everything's powered up. Tool 2, we're going to G59, X0, Y0. That's the center of our tool setter, and then it's going to search down 50 inches a minute. Just give it a cycle start. So it goes down, hard touch, comes back, soft touch. It does it so fast, the LEDs don't even get a chance to come on. But there it is. And then you would just do this for every tool, obviously. So, I don't know, hopefully this helps somebody out with an old machine and get you some more features.